Hello, I'm Madora. I'm just playing bass, doing a little groovy groove in A minor. It's a fun time, and I want you to have a fun time playing grooves in A minor as well, which is why today's lesson is all going to be about thinking about the notes that you can use when you find out that you're doing something in A minor. Cool, let's break it down. So I like to think about things sometimes as a pyramid of sound. Yes, it's like a theory pyramid, I guess. Now, don't get too worried about the notion of theory. We're not going to go too hard, but I think that it's important to label things. I think it's important to know, what do you play if someone says A minor 7? This is something you should know as a bass player, like a guitar player would know how to play that chord. You should know what notes you have at your disposal. And so today's lesson is all going to be about breaking down and labeling certain things. And I like to think about it in a pyramid style concept, where maybe we start with just a root note at the top of the pyramid and we expand it to get a nice foundation of a lot more notes that we could be able to play. So there are a couple ways to go about this. We could work from the bottom and go up, or the top and go down. And why don't we start at the bottom, because I feel like a lot of people know what an A minor scale is. And if you don't, you're going to find out right now. So for this lesson, everything is going to be adhering to our 4-fret span. We're going to use our first finger to play the 5th fret of our E string. We're going to find our A right there. And everything is going to be between the 5th fret and the 8th fret, where I'm using essentially this series of 4 fingers, 4 frets. The notes on the 5th fret will be with my index finger. The notes on with my pinky will be played on the 8th fret. There you have it. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of build the base of our pyramid, thinking like, all right, well, what are the most notes that we could possibly use if someone's like, yeah, we're just like playing an A minor? Well, I think it's safe to assume in this situation that you're going to use the A natural minor scale. This is going to be a scale that has no sharps and no flats. The notes are going to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Could throw a little A on top, and it would also correspond to the key of C, which would be your relative major. So the cool thing about this is it fits really nicely in our 4-fret span. And we can go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Or we can think about it in scale degrees. Now, I think that this is particularly helpful because once you get used to scale degrees and intervals, you'll be able to transpose to any key. So I like to think about it as the root note, the 2nd, the minor 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the minor 6th, the minor 7th, and then the octave. You could also think about it as kind of like flats if you're used to being like, oh, well, I know my major 3rd. You could think 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, and octave. But using the term minor is probably a little bit more appropriate. So another cool thing is once you get this pattern down, again, you can transpose it basically to any key you'd like. You could be like, oh, what if I played it up here? What if I played down here? Maybe in like F sharp minor. You can kind of find these things all over the neck just using this particular scale pattern and fingering pattern. So once you get comfortable with that, a great thing to do also is to think about it in terms of just intervals, being like, okay, well, what if I tested myself and I said, do I know where my 4th is? Do I know where my 5th is? What about the minor 7th? What about the minor 3rd? What about the minor 6th, the 2nd, and just get comfortable with these interval relationships. So now we have just built the base of our pyramid, kind of like the most notes that we might be able to use if we're playing something that's just in A minor. Now we're going to throw a couple of those notes to the side and say, well, what about a minor pentatonic scale? That's a very common thing. When we have a pentatonic scale, we're taking our 7th note scale, we're getting rid of 2 notes. We have a 5-note scale now for penta, and we're going to use our root, our 3rd, our 4th, our 5th, our 7th, and then our octave. So we're basically taking the A natural minor scale, and we are omitting the 2nd scale degree and the 6th. So that gives us 1, skip 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 6, 7, and octave. And use the same fingering that you got used to before. nothing's changed. We're still here. So the pentatonic scale is great because it lets you kind of avoid some potentially troublesome notes, and basically say like, yeah, like most of the time, if I'm coming up with a groove or playing a fill, the notes in the A minor pentatonic are really going to work well. Cool. So we have the base of our pyramid. We worked our way up to the next level, the pentatonic scale. It's got 5 notes. What do we do next? Well, I like to think that the minor 7th chord comes next. This is going to be a chord using 4 notes, and we're going to have our root, our minor 3rd, our 5th, and our minor 7th. So you can kind of just play an A minor 7 arpeggio. You could throw the octave on top if you'd like. And there you have it. So we went from the A natural minor scale to the A minor pentatonic, the A minor 7th chord. What's next? A triad. Just root 3, 5. We have our root, the minor 3rd, and the 5th. Cool. 3 notes. What's next? 2 notes. Maybe just the root and the 5th. So someone's like, yeah, we're playing an A minor. You're like, cool. You can choose to use the 3rd, or you could just say like, well, maybe I can just play the root and the 5th. That could be cool too. Throw the octave on top. There we go. And when we have 2 notes, the only place we have left to go is 1 note, which is A. So you can think about A as the top of the pyramid. And now we're going to work our way top of the pyramid and go down. We have our root note A. Then we have an A power chord, or an A and the 5th. Then we have an A minor triad, 1, 3, 5. Then we have an A minor 7th chord, 1, 3, 5, 7. Then we have A minor pentatonic. And then we finally have A natural minor. So these are kind of like all the combinations of notes and labels for what they're called. So if somebody says like, yeah, we're just playing in like A minor, this is a really great way to think about what your options are in terms of the notes that you have at your disposal and how much you want to outline the chord or outline the harmony, whether you're going to be using other notes as fills and things like that. So I hope you found this lesson useful. It's really cool to be able to like label things and know what things are called. And yeah, get this stuff down. Enjoy. Happy practicing, keep it groovy, and don't forget to check out my website, ryanmadora.com, for more educational goodies.